What are the attributes or personal qualities do you think that helped you the most in life?
The attribute I think that helped me most is a completely open mind. I don't start any proposition with saying, I'm right, he's wrong, I'm right. It is completely open. And then I look at it, so I have to examine the fact that not only can the other guy be wrong, or can be on the wrong foot, but I could be. So I think that's one thing. One thing that I think is a way of thinking is that you never let your ego get in the way. In other words, even with the building deal, a certain amount of ego. Now I'm going to have to go out and say to everybody, we didn't make a deal, we're looking for something else.
But be willing to do that.
I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
I say that, and I can go back to every event that I've handled in my life, and the same rules apply. It is absolutely rigid. When I started in business, I started in partnership with my brother. He was 3 years older than me. We had a great relationship, but we finally disagreed in business. Certain, I don't want to go into details, certain elements we disagree with. So one day we sat down and said, hey, we're making a few bucks and we're doing fine, but we're not enjoying it. There's a constant jockeying. Let's go separate ways.
Even with your brother?
Even with my brother. Particularly with my brother.
Particularly.
I'll tell you something. I used to have meetings on hiring, on getting people. And when I started in the business, the dominant company was IBM. And IBM had a code, and one of the parts of the code is anti-nepotism. They will not hire anybody that's a relative. Now, in my case, when I thought of it, fine, that's okay for IBM. To me, it went the opposite way. So in my feeling, in my gut, and the way I do things, everybody that's a member of Jack Nadell International is an extended relative.
It's nice to feel like that your company, it really has a family feeling. But I think the bigger takeaway for me is the fact that you are willing to shake things up if they're not working, to go into any situation with an open mind, to not have your agenda be so important that you can't shift if things change. I think that just is, it's so clear. Just be open to what's in front of you, not what you think will be there or what you plan to have there. It's what's actually in front of you, and deal with that, and try and figure out who is it that's there, right? And understand who they are.
You have to face reality. I would like this person to be better. I would like this person to be smarter. I would like this person to feel what's going to happen. Doesn't happen. There is nothing I can do to make it happen. I think one of the great things to learn is what you're capable of and what you can affect. And one of the things is exactly what we're talking about. So then I have to come to a decision. Is this someone I want to continue? Or do we sit down and, in good spirit, and break up the relationship?
And it doesn't have to be negative on the whole. In many ways,
no.
I imagine it would make it better.
No.
To say, you want to know what, for our love of each other, let's not do this together anymore.
That's right. I feel that way, and sometimes the other person does, but eventually they do. It's somehow or other, all of us are not like all of us.
Right. Right, we're all unique.
That's right.
Right, and all those unique pieces,
We're
how do they
unique.
fit?
You're all unique, and even when I examine a new deal, or what's involved in doing the deal, it's what can I do better than anybody else can do. Because at the end of the line, if it has any validity, it's going to take legs, and there's going to be a lot of competition, and I want to be the guy that survives.
So it sounds like you spend a lot of time, metaphorically, looking in the mirror at how you can improve instead of looking around you at the conditions and how to improve the conditions. I think a lot of people, myself included, will think, well, if that chair was bigger, or if my car was faster, or any number of things that I really can't change. Sounds like you spend more time looking at, well, how am I approaching it?
Well, it all happens. It all happens in real life. The very first question I ask myself when a deal went sour is, what did I do that was wrong, or how could I have made it work? And never what you did. It's what I did.
But not in a self-flagellating way. But
No, just to say, this is what you thought. This is what I thought. I'm looking at it from a point of view, and it's obvious something went wrong. Now the key question is, are you capable of turning it around? Am I capable of turning it around? And how do we do it?
Just a willingness to look at yourself to improve for the next time, not necessarily as a way to, oh, well, I feel badly that this happened, but instead, that's not good. These are the things that I wish I had done differently, and next time I'm going to do those things.
And then maybe I can do it this time.
It sounds so simple, but I feel like many times people just look for excuses for why things went wrong.
I'll put it in your head so you'll never forget it. We opened a very large factory, printing direct mail. We covered 200,000 square feet. That's a big factory. That's a big factory. We even have a post office in our plant. That's how much mailing we did. Then lo and behold, when I checked the figures the first month, we're losing $100,000 a month. Now, how can I be losing $100,000? This. Wait a minute, maybe it's too much here. And then it came to me and my associate, and almost at the same time. We had set ourselves up to do a certain kind of printing, but we were capable of doing any kind of printing, number one. Number two, and I'll tell you what it is so there's nothing in the dark, we had decided that our best capability was in doing high price printing, looking for high price dollars out there, and solicitation on the part of our client trying to find that investment capital. And it wasn't working. So I said, why don't we just try something else? This ain't working. So we decided to expand the scope of the printing, so I didn't care what it was. If it was a printing press that you put the paper, we could do it. Now, the beautiful thing about having the latest press or the latest equipment is that you're able to do that. So bingo, we did it, kept improving. And we went from taking a loss of $100,000 a month to selling the company for $24 million.
Wow. So it sounds like the takeaway there is be flexible.
Be flexible. You're not always right. So the first thing you have to do, once again, is find out what you did that was wrong. And then if somebody else is a fellow culprit, find out how you can get them, figure how you can get them on your side of the table so you're both working in the same direction. Doesn't work, try something else. But at least you try this. We agreed, went to work on it, no holds barred, bingo.
Awesome. I think people get very set in their ways on what they think that they need to do, or I've made this one product and this is what's going to work for me. And then they just push and push and push to make that one thing work.
Right.
Versus being willing to say, well, if I take this and turn it that way, maybe it'll work better.
Right.
Be willing to do that.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
You've got it.
I got it.
You got it.
Okay,
You got
good.
it.